Good morning, happy Friday. Welcome to this week's Virtual Networkers meeting. I'm going to press pause and then I'll be back when everyone joins us. So good morning, happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Networkers. I'm Jill Celeste, chapter president here, and it's so good to see everyone. If you haven't done so already, please go to the chat box, first, last name, email address, and you don't have to do that, sweetie. I know you're here and I'll make sure to record it. And first, last name, email address in there. And we'll get started with our 30-second introductions. Please remember to keep it 30 seconds or less so that we have plenty of time for our speaker today. And I'm just gonna let a couple more folks in here before I get that going. Here we go. So we're gonna start with our I always go in the top left corner, and Pamela, that's you. So go ahead and 30 seconds, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Dr. Pam Ginsberg. I am a psychologist in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and have been practicing for almost 30 years. And I specialize in working with women with cancer and women's health and wellness.
Wonderful. We are so glad to hear. We're looking forward to your presentation a little bit.
Thank you.
I'll be next, and then Tammy. So I'm Jill Celeste, founder of Virtual Networkers. And we have 4 chapters now and looking to grow. And I'm excited to announce that I will be sending out a questionnaire to you all who are members in April. And I'm going to get some dig deep and see what kind of information you have to offer so that we can improve our organization. There will be multiple choice questions as well as free forms so that you can write your piece in there. So please keep an eye out for that in April. I live in Newport Richey, Florida, which is near Tampa. Let's have Tammy go and then Darlene.
Good morning. My name is Tammy Grant. I'm the founder and CEO of Travel World. It is a full-service travel agency. In addition to traditional travel services, we also offer entrepreneurs, special interest groups, and nonprofit organizations a way to earn extra income for their company and organization through retreats. So if you are thinking about hosting a retreat and you don't know where to start, I can help you get started with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Tammy. Darlene and Judy.
Good morning, Darlene Elkins, photographer. If you've ever been stressed and then seen a piece of art that you felt you must have because it took you to another place, another memory, another feeling, and you know having it in your space would be a part of the healing process, then take a look at my photos on photographsforthesoul.com, where I offer you perspectives and often capture the soul of animals, large and small. Feel free to invite them into your home.
Awesome. Thanks, Darlene. Look forward to seeing your art. Judy, then Kelly.
Hi, I'm Judy Kane, and my business is Aligned Consciousness. And I help people rewrite subconscious, self-limiting beliefs that are blocking them from getting the life they want. People come to me for 3 main reasons, either because they've got emotions that are persistent and keeping them from enjoying their life, or they've got conscious goals they aren't hitting, or physical symptoms of stress. Judy Kane, Aligned Consciousness.
Thanks, Judy. Kelly, then Debbie.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Lutman with Pursue Wellness for You, and I wanted to share the experience of one of my newer clients. She came to me with acid reflux every night. She's a busy lawyer, not sleeping well. In fact, she has a CPAP, but wasn't able to use it because she was so congested and having difficulties. And very quickly, we talked through some of the foods she was eating, and she discovered after just 1 week of removing cooked tomatoes, her acid reflux was no longer an issue.
Wow.
And we discovered that in looking through her prescription medications, 3 of those medications cut her melatonin. So adding melatonin helped her to get to sleep. And she came to me the next week saying, oh my goodness, I feel like a different person already. That's the kind of thing that I work with clients on. It's not always that quick a fix, but it can turn things around when you're just taking out what the body doesn't like or adding in what the body doesn't have. And you can find that in that pursuing wellness for you, wellness for life, health really is wealth.
Awesome. Congratulations to her as well.
Mm.
Debbie, then Margaret.
Good morning, I'm Debbie Keevan, and I am the Chief Inspiration Officer of Highlander Press, located here in Baltimore, Maryland. Did you know that over 4,500 books are published every single day of the year? And less than 250 nonfiction sales happen typically, unless you work with someone who helps you get eyeballs on your book and purchasing your book so you can make the impact that you know you're intended to make. So we grow authors here at Highlander Press.
Awesome. Thanks, Debbie. Margaret, then Susan Shelton.
Good morning, everyone. Margaret Martin here in delightful Dunedin, Florida, and the west side of Tampa Bay. And you heard me say that I love helping people make positive change through the Redesign Your Life program for women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, as well as people in career transition, helping them with their resumes and LinkedIn. But one of the other things I wanted you to know is I am certified in the DISC, Everything DISC Personal Profile. It's a great tool to not only learn your own communication skills and your behavior style, it is a great way for your team and even your family to learn to communicate even better. So if something like that speaks to you, let me know. You can find me at margaretmartin.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Margaret. Susan Shelton, then Mary Beth.
Spring has sprung, the grass is rising. That box of tissues beside you is not surprising. Good morning, I'm Susan Shelton. I'm a wellness consultant out of Alexandria, Virginia, and welcome to March, the month that is synonymous with the start of allergy season. 15 years ago, I was a severe allergy sufferer, dependent on medications for relief. But after following a nutritional supplement protocol for a couple of months, I was able to ditch my meds. Want to know more? Know someone who would like to get relief from allergy symptoms? Let's schedule a coffee date and do it soon. The pollen is coming. Have a good day.
Thanks, Susan. Mary Beth and Rachel.
Good morning. I am from Alexandria, Virginia, close to Susan. I'm an animal communicator. This week I got to work with Cheryl and her Yorkie, Chino. And Chino nipped Cheryl pretty badly. And we checked in with Chino and checked in with Cheryl and found they were both pretty, had some high anxiety. And so we did some dual healing. I did some dual healing for both of them. And they walked out with both of them feeling much better and very happy. So I got my fingers crossed. Thank you.
Yay, Chino. Rachel, then Jennifer.
Hi, ladies. In French, a regular website is called a vitrine, which is the same thing as a store shopfront. And that's what your website is for your business. It is a shopfront. And you want a shopfront that looks really, really, really good. I'm Rachel, and I'm a website designer.
Say that word again in French one more time.
Vitrine.
Oof. What's this? That sounds much better than website. Yes. Use that. Jennifer, then Stacy.
Almost anything in French, right?
This is
It's a great
true,
language
yes.
to learn. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't be here last weekend. My mom was cold, so she flew down quick and interrupted everything so we could give her some warmth. So I hope everybody's had a really lovely week. I am Jennifer Ressman, your small business content specialist. I'm here to help you build your brand and exposure online. I'm with Voyu Marketing here in lovely Central Florida. And while you probably know me as a social media marketer as well, I have recently adjusted my business to help my clients better because making content is a big undertaking and many can't keep up with it consistently. So it's now all about content creation for you. So when you're ready to have someone help you with your content creation and writing for your blog, I'm here for you. If you're ready to have someone else take on this important task for your business because you're super busy with other daily activities of running your business, reach out and we can chat about getting you more exposure consistently. I'm at voyu.com and you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Stacy, then Susan Driscoll.
Good morning, ladies. I'm Stacy Rowan, coach and owner at Custom Built Life. And I coach business owners from solopreneurs to owners who have expanded to have a small team. And they typically come to me because they're experiencing some growing pains in their business. Oftentimes they either are ready to or already have transitioned to being a team leader, and they want to reduce the stress and discomfort that came with that change in their business. Using their unique human design, I provide an analysis of their leadership strengths and challenges. And then we work together in one-on-one coaching to bring confidence and flow to their growing business so they can feel excited about their business again. So I'm Stacy Rowan from Custom Built Life, because your business should work in harmony with the rest of your life. And you can reach me at stacy@custombuiltlife.com.
Nice job, Stacy. Good girl. Susan, then Sherry.
Good morning, everyone. I'm an intuitive mindset coach, and I work with women. Usually they're successful, but really they're unfulfilled and maybe even frustrated in what they're doing right now. Deep down, they usually know they have more to offer, but they're not sure what to do about it. So I work with them to help move them through their self-doubt, get clarity on what they'd like to do, and to get started in taking action so that they can move from where they are right now to where they want to go and get excited about life again. I'm Susan Driscoll, and I'm in Toronto.
Thanks, Susan. Sherry, then Connie Jo.
Good morning, everyone. Have you ever wondered if that contract that you cobbled together from information you gleaned off the internet is really protecting you? I'm Sherry Andrews. I'm a small business attorney here in Pennsylvania. I work collaboratively with solopreneurs and small businesses to ensure that your business is legally compliant, legally protected, and positioned for success. You can find me at sherryandrews.com. Sherry Andrews, your small business attorney, because I believe all small businesses should be legally protected.
Awesome. Connie Jo, then Tracy.
Are you behind with your books? Are your books a mess? You're not sure what to do? You're feeling the stress? Let's get started. Your books will get done, and along the way, we will surely have fun. Just schedule a chat. We'll figure it out. You'll get up to date. Of that, there's no doubt. Good morning from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the bodacious bookkeeper, Connie Jo Miller of Enigma Bookkeeping Solutions. Schedule some time with me today. My link is in the chat box.
Nice, Connie Jo. Tracy, then Rebecca.
Happy Friday, ladies. And the poem challenge is on. I'm coming prepared next time.
All right, girl.
I am Tracy with Judy Glenn Incorporated, and I work with my clients to help build their business. We do this by helping them connect with prospective clients and staying connected to their current clients with the use of promotional products. Having something on their desk or in their office, around their home, that shows your logo is that constant reminder of who you are and what you do, and they can reach out to you when they need you. So our tagline is promotions for professionals. And if you're looking for some creative ideas, reach out. I'm Tracy with Judy Glenn Incorporated.
Thanks, Tracy. Rebecca, we're so glad you're here. Welcome. And then Lord Templeton.
I have to say that it's not even light out yet. So I have to work on my lighting today. I'm in a normally sunny Arizona, but it's not so sunny yet. It's still dark. So I'm in Laura's Wednesday group. And, you know, there's so many teenagers and young adults out there that are super stressed. And I specialize in helping not only the teenagers, but the moms as well. I help the teens uncover their anxiety and release it so they can move beyond it. And they get to learn resilience and confidence that takes them through their life, no matter what the circumstance. And then I help the moms who, you know, that they're suffering right along with them and lying awake at night, not worrying about them. I teach the moms and the parents how to be the best parents that those teens need them to be. So if you know a mom or teen or a young adult out there who needs some support, put them in touch with me. I'm Rebecca Kahn, and you can reach me at rkcoach.com.
Awesome. We're glad you could visit us today, Rebecca. Thank you for being here. Laura, then Suzanne.
Good morning. I'm Laura Templeton coming to you now from sunny Bradenton, Florida. So super excited to be finally settled. Laura Templeton, and I help people develop their 30-second message for networking video. So if you know someone who refuses to come to virtual networkers because she doesn't want to have to do her 30-second commercial, that's a great referral for me because a lot of people really struggle with that and they don't have to. It's a very simple formula that I teach and it helps people overcome that anxiety around your 30-second message. So if you know someone who wants to get beyond that 30-second message struggle, connect us today. I'm Laura Templeton with 30-Second Success.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura. Suzanne, then Pam.
Hi, everyone. So for the first time, I'm going to remember to tell you where I'm from. So I am from Western Massachusetts in the Berkshires, which is near Albany. So my question for you is, have you ever been at a point in your life where you wondered where to go next? You had an option to turn left or right, and you weren't sure which way to go. Or you were confused, cloudy-headed, and simply had no idea what to do next. I work with women in just that spot. They are in transition, whether it be their marriage has just ended, they are empty nesters because their children have gone off to college, or they're semi-retiring. They're going into that next phase of life where they're not going to fully stop working, but they want to have more life balance. Those are the women I work with. My name is Suzanne Bellavista. I'm a What Next coach and astrologer. And if you know anybody who needs help getting clear on what it is that's next for them, I work with women who are scared, confused, or overwhelmed, figure out their life purpose, and design that dream life that they're ready to live into. You can find me in the chat box at suzanne@soulfullivingproject.com.
Yay, good job, Suzanne. Thank you. Pam and then Jessica.
Good morning, ladies. I'm Pam Knox. Happy Friday, and I'm calling in from Pennsylvania. And happy Women's History Month. March is a great time to celebrate all things women entrepreneurs. But often when we look at Women's History Month, we're looking back. We're looking back at the stories. I'm a storyteller and strategist that helps build brands by telling their stories to propel businesses forward. So that if you've lost your story, I'm here to help you find it. If you can't write your story, you know about it, but you can't just put it to words, I can put it to words for you. And all with a strategy behind it, because storytelling for the sake of telling stories just doesn't get you that very far. But when you put strategy behind it, it really can accelerate your business and your brand. I'm Pam Knox, business strategist and storyteller.
Awesome. Good to see you again, Pam. Jessica. Hiding behind your headshot. There she is. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi, I am new here. My name is Jessica Pritchard. I am from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and I am connected with Pam Ginsberg on LinkedIn. And it said that she was going to talk about stress management for the working professional woman. I happen to be one of those women. I am a divorce attorney in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, with the law firm of Untitled, Maslow, and McMinn. And I was really hoping for the stress management tips, not necessarily to talk about myself.
That's okay.
And I think I need Rebecca Kahn's information. I'm a mother of a teenager, and everybody's on edge. So again, I've got nothing exciting to tell you, but I'm here for the presentation. And if anybody needs divorce, custody, or support work in Pennsylvania, give me a call. Jessica Pritchard from Untitled, Maslow, and McMinn.
Awesome. We're glad you could visit us, Jessica. Yes, awesome. Anne, as you noticed, is behind her headshot and also muted. She is in the hospital right now, listening to us. So let's all send a moment of good juju to Anne as she recovers from her surgery. Anne, we love you. So with that, Laura Templeton, do you have the biographical honors today? So Laura will introduce our speaker, and then Dr. Ginsberg, if you could go to about 8:40-ish a.m., and then we'll open it up for questions.
Dr. Pam Ginsberg is a licensed psychologist in a private practice specializing in women's health and psycho-oncology. With over 28 years of experience, Dr. Ginsberg works with women with cancer at all stages. She also works with women with a variety of other health challenges, life balance, grief and bereavement, stress management, decision-making, parenting, and relationship issues, and is a fervent speaker for national and local organizations. Dr. Ginsberg is a staff psychologist at Doylestown Hospital in Pennsylvania, and she is on the medical advisory board of Cancer Support Community of Greater Philadelphia. She's a member of the Society of Health Psychology, the Pennsylvania Psychological Association, and the American Psycho-Oncology Society. Welcome, welcome, Pam.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Laura. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So hopefully you will be able to see this.
You got it.
All right. Okay, so I'm just going to see if I can move this. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you, Laura, for inviting me to speak today. It's great to be among women professionals. And as I was listening to everybody's introductions, you know, so much of what I'm going to be talking to you about today is going to apply to you, like Jessica said, and so much of it is going to hopefully be information that you can bring to your own clients, because we're going to talk about some concepts around stress, and we're going to also talk strategies. And I think that everybody always wants strategies, and I think that that's always very helpful. So we will handle all of that. So stress management for working women. Good morning, ladies. Let the stress begin. It doesn't take much, does it? So, all right. So I always like to talk about what is stress, because we throw that word around really kind of haphazardly, but it's very important to understand stress, and that stress is a psychological response to stimulus. And sometimes that stimulus is external, something that's going on in your life. Sometimes that stimulus is internal, something that's going on in your head. But our brain doesn't really know the difference between the external stresses and the internal stresses. So the physiological effects of stress are the same. And we're going to talk about those physiological effects and what that actually does to your body and what that does to your well-being. So cortisol and adrenaline are the stress hormones. We're going to talk about mostly cortisol and the effect of cortisol. Stress causes the adrenal glands to secrete cortisol into our system. Our bodies are really equipped, very well equipped actually, to handle acute stress, to handle when something is going on, when there is a crisis. Our bodies can handle that very well. The problem is chronic stress. When stress lasts a long period of time, our bodies are much less equipped to handle chronic stress. And so in short-term problems, it's great. The cortisol, the adrenaline, they serve a specific purpose. In the long term, though, it has a detrimental effect on every system in your body. And when we're talking about work-related things, what happens is our attention narrows when we're stressed. And it narrows to the source of the stress or the worry about what's going on rather than whatever the task is at hand. And so stress winds up being extremely distracting. When people are stressed out, they tell me all the time they have concentration problems. It's very, very distracting when you're stressed out. So obviously that causes poor performance, worse mood, all of these things that you see here. And if you see it as that the stress response really hijacks your brain's systems. And so again, the focus of the brain becomes about the stress rather than about attention, comprehension, learning, all of those other things that we're trying to do during the course of a workday. It's really important to know that stress is contagious. So when you are in a meeting, there is emotional contagion that happens in a meeting. And whether that's in a meeting individually with one person or in a big group meeting, what happens is people start to share emotions within about 2 hours, which is really interesting. You know, we've probably all had this experience where we've been in meetings and we walk in and we're in a good mood and we walk out and we're like, you know, so that is contagious. So, but it's also important to know that all emotions are contagious. So difficult emotions are contagious and positive emotions are contagious. So if you are in charge of a meeting and you have more mastery over kind of what the emotional tone of the meeting is, you can actually spread a more positive emotional reaction into your meeting. So it gives us, we have a lot of power here, but it's really important to know that groups, we ride the emotional roller coaster together in meetings. So what you see here are just leading sources of stress. This is just what the research shows. And the reason I even put this up here, you know, we all kind of know that these are the things that stress us out. in our lives, and this really speaks to women's work-life balance. But one of the most stressful things, one of these 6 things, is current events. And this year, really has emphasized how much current events impact our emotional lives, because it's just been so present this year between the pandemic and the politics and everything that's gone on in this last year. It's been extremely, extremely difficult. And rates of anxiety are higher than I've ever seen them in my almost 30 years working in this profession. I mean, it's really, really a pandemic unto itself. So these have always been difficult things. I think the current event box is more difficult than usual. So again, just another burden to bear. And then these are common work-related stressors. And again, we've all experienced these things. But these are the things in the work setting that people tend to rate as being most difficult. And it doesn't mean that every single one of these things are difficult, but I think for each of us, we can identify maybe the 1 or 2 or 3 things that tend to be the things that stress us out at work. So just to know kind of what the stressors are. So the impact of stress on our lives is extremely important to understand, because stress is common to all of us, and it's endemic in the lives that we live. But we tend to think that we're just stressed out, but it doesn't really have a long-term impact on us. It certainly does have a long-term impact on us. So what you see here are the things that are the consequences of chronic stress, not acute stress. Remember, we're talking about chronic stress. The idea that 43% of adults suffer adverse health effects from stress is very jarring. It's very eye-opening to understand that 43% of adults have stress-related health issues. And that might be things like obesity or high blood pressure or cardiac, it's very closely tied, by the way, to cardiac problems, more than anything else, by the way, that the research shows. But, when I talk to women, I work with women's health issues all the time. And, all women, or many women, I should say, most maybe, will talk to me about, weight challenges, especially in middle age and as we get older, and how difficult it is to lose weight. And, what people don't realize is how much stress is related to weight gain and obesity and difficulty losing weight. When we're stressed out, it is much more difficult for our bodies to manage weight loss. So there's a very direct relationship there. People who are stressed are more likely to be comfort eaters, or eat comfort foods. And again, the pandemic really put that into perspective. Everybody talks about kind of the quarantine 15, that everybody gained, right? People are concerned about stress in their lives. So people are more likely to smoke, exercise less, who are very concerned about stress. And by the way, because I work with cancer patients, people ask me all the time, does stress cause cancer? And the answer to that question is not directly. There's no direct link between, being stressed chronically and getting cancer. However, stress has a physiological effect on the body, and it really depresses the body's immune system, and it has an impact on how well our body is functioning, and therefore how well our body can fight illness. Or toxins in the body. So there is a link. It's not direct, it's more indirect, but there is a link. So we all experience stress. There's no way of getting around it. And I think that one of the things that is important to understand when we talk about stress management is it's not about reducing those external stressors. Because much of the time we don't have a lot of control over those external stressors. We have control over our response to those stressors. And so stress management has much more to do with how we respond and how we manage stress, rather than controlling the things that are stressing us out. Because when we focus on the things that are stressing us out, we tend to feel more and more helpless. So this is about managing stress well. And if you need to know whether or not you manage stress well or manage stress poorly. So I always talk about lifestyle issues when it comes to stress management, and I'm going to talk a lot about lifestyle issues today. If you are not willing, you or your clients are not willing to invest some time and energy into lifestyle changes, then you cannot expect yourself to manage stress well. That everybody knows about the definition of insanity, where if you do the same thing over and over and expect different results. We have got to change the way we think about self-care, especially for women, because women are historically terrible at self-care. We put everybody else's needs before ours. We sacrifice our own needs, and then we wonder why we're not doing well. That's why we're not doing well, is because we're not prioritizing our self-care. It is critically, critically important. And I'm going to talk about what I believe to be the most important parts of it. So this is just a kind of a complex model of something that's really not very complex. It's called a stress inoculation model. And this is really about how we think about stressful situations. And so if we have an appraisal that a stressful situation is threatening to us, on the left-hand side of this slide, you will see like what your likely reaction is going to be to a threat, right? So if you can reframe the threat to challenge and see it, change the way you're thinking about the stressful situation and see it as a challenge rather than a threat, then suddenly the way that we feel, our emotional response to that thing changes. So we can begin to mobilize our resources, our strengths, in order to approach a challenge more than we can from approaching a threat. A threat paralyzes us. When we feel threatened, we get stuck, we freeze. So you've heard of the fight or flight response. It's actually the fight, flight, or freeze response. Freeze is included in that. And that's how we respond to a threat. So when we change the way we think about something, we change the way we respond to it. So that's just a basic stress inoculation model. We go into problem solving mode, by the way, when we see something as a challenge. Lifestyle issues. I can't say enough about these 4 things. I see nutrition, exercise, water, and sleep as the 4 basic pillars to overall well-being, overall health, physical health, and mental health. And so I want to talk about how these are each related to mental health, because a lot of people don't understand kind of the direct connection that there is. So obviously eating a healthy diet makes us feel better and is linked to greater physical health. But when we have better energy, better immune functioning, we sleep better, we also wind up with a better sense of control and a better sense of overall well-being. And that better sense of overall well-being and control translates into how we solve problems, how we approach people, how helpless or not helpless we feel. And that makes a big difference when we're dealing with whatever the stressful situation is. So there is a direct link between nutrition and mental health. And this is the reason why. It's not so much about the nutrients of the food, but it's about how we respond to those nutrients and what that means for us in terms of the way we interact with people. Exercise, I talk about this constantly because I believe that exercise is the magic pill. I really do. Vigorous exercise is very strongly linked to better mental health. We know that the effect of exercise on the body, the way that exercise affects neurotransmitters in our brain and our body is the same way that antidepressant medication affects neurotransmitters in our brain and our body. And so when we do vigorous exercise 3 to 5 times a week and we sweat and we get our heart rate up there, we actually balance the neurotransmitters in our brain. The same way that antidepressants do, even better in some situations. So it is so helpful for people with anxiety and depression to exercise, that there is a place for antidepressant medication. There is a place for all psychotropic medications. I'm not against medication, but wouldn't you rather do something more organic if you can, So exercise helps you in so many ways. Obviously, there's all the physical benefits, but there are such clear, direct mental health benefits to exercise. Also, sweating flushes cortisol from our system, and I think that we don't. There's only a few ways that cortisol leave our system, and sweat is one of them. And this is the same reason for water, by the way. Cortisol leaves our system through urination. So as we pee out cortisol, we feel better. And so one of the first things I tell people when they have anxiety is to start drinking more water. Because it helps to flush cortisol from our system. Cortisol only has 3 ways of leaving our body: sweat, urination, and tears, by the way, which is interesting, right? So when we have a good cry and we feel better, it's because there's cortisol in our tears. And then, of course, sleep. So quality sleep is closely correlated with health. And what's the first thing we sacrifice when we're busy? Sleep. So don't sacrifice sleep. People tell me all the time, I get 5 hours. I'm good. I can work well on 5 hours. No, you can't. It is a very, very rare person who can work well on 5 hours of sleep. The vast majority, almost all people, need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And so when we sacrifice sleep, we're really sacrificing our health, our mental health, and our well-being. So what fits your busy schedule better, exercising an hour a day or being dead 24 hours a day? And running late to happy hour does not count as a workout. So I want you to just think about changing one thing at a time. Just think about improving, tweaking, cleaning up these areas, because I think that any change that you can make, any small change that you can make towards being better in these areas is going to help you. I know it's very overwhelming for some people, but step out of the comfort zone. It's the only place where change happens. Breathing exercises. I'm a huge fan of breath work, breathing exercises. I'm not going to go into all of this today because I don't have time, but I do want you to look up breathing exercises. If you do not know 4-7-8 breathing or diaphragmatic breathing or just simply 3 deep breaths or what's called square breathing, look these things up because they are incredibly, incredibly helpful. You can use them anytime. You can use them in the middle of a meeting. Nobody knows you're doing it. At any moment in the day, what breathing exercises do is they slow things down, and if you think about kind of the chatter that happens in our brain and this like franticness that happens when we're stressed out, doing a 4-7-8 breathing exercise really lets us slow things down, and it turns off that fight, flight, or freeze response. It turns it off, which is really powerful. So look these up. That you can find them easily on, through your own web searches. And meditation, I highly recommend meditation. I know it feels like a huge investment if you've never done it. You do not have to sit there for an hour a day in the lotus position in order to meditate. Mindfulness meditation can be done in 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day. And again, what it does is it helps with that hijacking of the emotional response. I think that the most important thing that mindfulness meditation does, quite honestly, is that it changes your emotional reactivity to things. Your mind is a very busy place. And so what it does is it really quiets that down. And it gives you more mastery over being able to quiet that down. And the more you do it, the better you get at that. And so it really shifts your emotional reactivity to the things that stress us out. To me, I started a mindfulness meditation practice about, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 years ago, 10 minutes a day. That's all I do. It's 10 minutes a day. It's easy. And I think that it's changed my emotional life probably more than any other thing I've ever done, other than exercise, just so you know. Laughter, laughter's easy, and I want you to see that as a stress management tool. Laughter does great things in our body. It releases all kinds of great feel-good neurotransmitters in our body and chemicals in our body that make us feel better. And so there's no underestimating the power of laughter. I will sometimes actually assign like comedy movies to people just to lighten up, to lighten themselves up. We carry an awful lot of heavy stuff around with us. And then finally, working hard and working happy, reconnecting with what you love about your job. We go into our line of work because there's something interesting there, right? There's a reason why we went into this particular line of work. And when the stresses of the job come, it's easy to lose that. It's easy to lose the kind of compelling reason why we're doing this to begin with. And so it's really helpful for people to reconnect with the compelling reason, reconnect with the meaning and the purpose of their work. The other stuff, there's aspects to every single line of work that are stressful, without exception. I work with cancer patients. It's heavy. It is heavy emotional work that I do. I work with people who are dying and people who are afraid of dying. But if I wasn't connected with the passion that I have for the work that I do, there's no way I could keep doing this. It just would be impossible. It's too much. So figure out how to stay connected with your strengths in terms of work, and why you're doing what you're doing. It's so incredibly helpful. And again, that's a more cognitive piece. And so keep Post-it notes around, keep poems around that are inspirational to you, keep your client stories that the ones that really connect you with success and the reason why you're doing what you're doing. It's very helpful. And that's it. I think I'm just at 20 minutes, right? Good, okay. Thank you. So let me get out of the screen share.
Great presentation. So many nuggets in that one. Opening the floor, who has a question for Dr. Ginsberg today? Margaret Martin.
I loved it. Thank you so much. I've worked with the Institute of Heart Breathing for years and years. So this was great reminders and a few extra nuggets in there. My question and comment is, what about naps? I love power naps.
Yeah, listen, sleep is good, so there are people who are good nappers and people who are not good nappers. If you're a good napper and you find napping refreshing, do it. If you can do it, do it. It is a great way of just slowing down, checking out for a little while. Sleep is good. Sleep is really good.
I think a lot of times, especially those of us who are own business owners, feel guilty if we take that 10 or 15 minutes in the middle of the afternoon or whatever time that. So I would like to give them all permission to take those naps.
Listen, if a nap improves your functioning and your ability to cope with whatever's happening in your life, then it can only be seen as a good thing. There's no downside to that.
Good job. That's a great question. Darlene, go ahead, and then Connie Jo.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. What is your definition of mindful meditation as opposed to regular meditation?
So there's lots of different kinds of meditation, basically. And so mindfulness meditation is just a particular type of meditation. It's very mainstream right now. It wasn't always mainstream, but it is definitely more mainstream right now. And there is more research backing to mindfulness meditation than other types of meditation. I'm a psychologist. I try to stay with what the evidence-based processes are, but that doesn't mean that that other types of meditation are not helpful. Mindfulness meditation is very accessible right now, and so it's the reason why I recommend it.
Great question, Darlene. Connie Jo, finish us up with questions, and then we'll move to announcements.
I have a question about vigorous exercise.
Yep.
You said we need to sweat, you need to get your heart rate up. Is there like a minimum number? Like I heard 12 minutes, but I don't know. Is there like something you should shoot for?
No, I think shooting for doing it is what I want you to do. In all honesty, I think that we can get very caught up in, I have to do 20 minutes, and then we become very perfectionistic about that. I think that works against us. And so I think that doing it is better than not doing it. And so if you only have 10 minutes, do 10 minutes, but do that 4 times a week. And then, you know, you can increase as you need to or want to or can, but doing it is always better than not doing it. And so I don't like giving, you know, do it for this number of minutes, but I do want you to do it 3 to 5 times a week.
Okay, great. That's encouraging. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love it. Just do it, no matter how long it takes. That's wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Ginsberg. So we're going to move now into announcements. So those of you who are members of Virtual Networkers, whether in this chapter or visiting us from another chapter, you will get a chance to do a verbal announcement. If you're a guest, please use our chat box for your announcement. Members, please just choose one, because we have a lot of folks and we get done by 9 a.m. So please just choose one, either something you're announcing, which is like a referral or something you're promoting, or a shout out. You're welcome to use the chat box for more information or for more details. But let's just keep it succinct and to the point. So I'm going to go first, and then I'll have Tammy go after me. So I just wanted to shout out to folks who could not attend today: Laura Clark, Hannah, Kate, Suzanne Moore, Anne, who's here, or was, well, she took off. So Anne sending love, and Robin sending love to those ladies as well. Some dates for you to remember on your calendar. Member meeting for the Friday folks is in 2 weeks on the 19th. We are not meeting on Good Friday, which is in April. And virtual coffee dates. We are going to have a virtual coffee date party on April 23rd. Just putting that on your calendar now, because I know a lot of you like to make sure you're there for that. And for Jill Celeste announcement, if you got a copy of my book, That First Client, just remember there's a companion workbook available at jillceleste.com. I'll drop the link here in the chat box in a second. This will help you work through the exercises in the book. So if you weren't aware of that, go to jillceleste.com. It does ask you for a receipt number. You can put whatever you want in there. I'm not checking it. So your favorite Bible verse, I don't care. Just stick it in there, okay? That's it for my announcements. So I'm going to go to Tammy and then Darlene.
Hello again. So I've been putting together multiple proposals for clients traveling to Mexico and the Caribbean. And one of their biggest concerns is that they have to have a PCR test within 72 hours of going, and they get stressed about getting that information back in time. And I'd like to share that if you're planning, or if you're thinking about preparing to go, and that's one of the things that's stressing you, I've found a way for you to have a PCR test from the comfort of your home via a Zoom call, where you're guaranteed to have your results within 48 hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Love it. Good job, Tammy. Darlene and Judy.
I am building a community on Instagram, and I would love to see you there. Darlene.Elkins. And following me would make my year. Thank you.
Easy ask. Let's all do that. Judy, then Kelly.
That's what happens when you do the unmute, but hit the outside of the Zoom box and the whole thing goes away. I'll put some stuff in the chat box. Love a really good presentation. There was a lot of good stuff in there. I did want to do a shout out for Rachel. She has helped me a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, things that were very troubling to me. So thank you very much, Rachel.
Awesome. Thanks. That's great. I love the collaboration. Kelly, then Margaret.
Dr. Pam, you sing my song. Everything that I talk about for boosting immune systems and everything else. So keep saying it, and we may collaborate at some point. I wanted to say that I'm about halfway through my immune boosting course, and following that, I am going to offer a detox, a 10-day food-based detox because it's spring cleaning time, right? We need to clean our house. You need to clean out your body and get rid of the gunk that's kind of absorbed by being more sedentary through winter. And so I will provide more details as I get it together, but it's coming. So think about that for the future.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Margaret, then Susan Shelton.
Again, Dr. Pam, thanks so much. I enjoyed it. I have shout outs. I had a wonderful long water chat with Susan Shelton last night. We decided it was neither one of us drank coffee at that hour, so we had drank water. So at any rate, and enjoyed, Jill, I enjoyed our coffee chat experience in our mind soul track, and had coffee chat with Laura Templeton and Hannah in that. It was really terrific. And Kelly Lutman, I have a referral coming your way.
Nice. Susan, then Mary Beth.
Great presentation, Dr. Ginsburg. Loved it. Margaret, our coffee date, great. We all hear about February being Heart Health Month, but heart health is important year round. So we are doing a free presentation on March 17th, 7 p.m. Dr. Peter Rugg will be talking about women's heart health and focusing on issues specific to women's health. So please, I'm going to put a little information about Dr. Rugg in the chat box, the link to join us, please, it will be there. This is a free presentation. Take advantage of the information that Dr. Rugg is going to be sharing with us. So I look forward to seeing you all there, and have a great week.
Thanks, Susan. Mary Beth and Rach.
Thank you, Dr. Ginsburg. I love the whole thing. I may force myself on my husband and son to tell them some of the things that you shared with me, especially how you get rid of cortisol. The tears, lovely. I'd like to invite everybody to check out my latest blog. It's Nature Connections Can Deepen Our Spiritual Lives. It was an interview I did with a lady named Deb Matson, and maybe join my UConnect channel. So thank you.
Awesome. Rachel, then Jennifer.
Yes, thank you so much for the presentation, Dr. Ginsburg. That was awesome. Particularly, I liked the emotions are contagious. I found that very interesting. For me, if you have any ladies in your network who are in the UK or Europe as the president of the Tuesday chapter, I would love the recommendations. I'll put the virtualnetworkers.biz link in the chat.
Yes.
Yes, you will.
Jennifer, then Stacy.
Yes, that was a great presentation. Stress is just, you find yourself holding your breath sometimes when you're doing stuff. It's like, oh, hello. I need a timer for that too. But I had to actually quit my job once because the stress was so bad. I'd gotten a thyroid condition that after many years of, chilling, I got rid of. But yeah, it's so powerful, and it can be the opposite of, good, powerful. So I hope all you ladies have a relaxing weekend. I'm Jennifer Ressman with Voyou Marketing, and I'm always looking for great referrals. And if you're struggling to keep up with your content creation, I'm always looking to connect with other people. I'll leave my information in the chat, but if we aren't already connected on LinkedIn, please reach out. Again, the link will be in the box, and connect with me there. Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Stacy, then Susan Driscoll.
Awesome presentation. I was also interested in the bit about emotions being contagious, because human design talks about that and whose emotions are more likely to impact other people. So I love seeing that there's more science behind that. I am looking for probably 2 people to, if they're interested in learning about their human design. I am completing up a certification, and I would need, as part of that, to have some testimonials. I have to also charge, but it is a minimal amount for an overview that I normally do. So if you're interested, you can email me. If you're not sure if you're interested, if you're feeling particularly frustrated or angry or bitter because you're not getting the recognition you deserve, those can be signs that you're not living in alignment with your design. And that is something that we would talk about in an overview. So if you're interested, Jill's cats are raising a ruckus over there. Just send me an email. The information's in the chat. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Stacy. Mr. Wu sends his apologies for his loud bang. Susan Driscoll, then Connie Joe.
If you have any ladies in your network who are just keep putting things off, things that they'd really love to do in their life, whether it be in their work or their personal life, because of a lack of confidence. I'm hosting a confidence masterclass next Thursday at 7 p.m. And I'd love to have you connect them to me. I've got the link in the chat if you know anyone like that.
Wonderful. Good successes. Connie, Joe, then Tracy.
I just wanted to remind everyone that if there's anything you need in your business, it's here. The Virtual Networkers Group. I can't imagine anything that you said, oh, I wish I could find this person. You're not going to have to go anywhere other than Virtual Networkers. I mean, it's all here. And I just feel so fortunate that I know that's true for me. If you need help with your books, you have me. So I'm a bodacious bookkeeper and I'm here for you, but everything's here. So take advantage of it and also update the directory.
Amen.
So everybody can find you and know how to schedule with you. And yeah, it's a great resource.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Becca.
Oh, and thank you, Pam. That was an awesome, awesome presentation. I loved it.
Tracy, then Rebecca.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Ginsburg, some great nuggets to take away and simple things that we can do one at a time. No big changes. Thank you for those reminders. Hey, ladies, I just want to share a fun fact. As Pam Knox had mentioned, it's Women's History Month. And I was just featured as a spotlight for the Pinellas County Economic Development through the Small Business Development Center, working with them. And I'll share that on our page as well, but that just happened yesterday. So I was excited about that, working through the Small Business Development Center. So,
congratulations, Tracy. Good for you. Good for you. Rebecca, then Suzanne.
Dr. Pam, that was really great. It was so nice seeing you again too. And is totally in alignment with what I do with my clients as well. So thank you. I'm looking for more eyes on my Facebook page. I'm doing little nuggets of information on Fridays that I'm sharing, and I'm hoping it helps people. So if you could find me at Rebecca Fit Coaching on Facebook and like and follow and share some of my videos, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I love being part of this group.
Thank you, Rebecca. Feel free to drop a link to your Facebook in the chat so we can find it easily. Suzanne and Laura T.
Okay, so a shout out for Darlene. If you have considered getting on Instagram, she's worth it. And if you're already there, definitely go follow her. Her photos are magnificent. And what I would say is, if you're considering getting on Instagram, it can be easier, almost easier than Facebook, because you don't even have to comment. People, the culture is more that you just scroll and heart. And I would encourage you, if you go there, or if you're already there, just curate people that really make you feel good about yourself. There's a lot of selling to you there, but if you purposely choose people that make you feel good inside, you'll have a great feed that can lift you up, and Darlene's photos will do that. If you end up going there, I am also, as the What Next coach and astrologer, I am on there at Soulful Living Project as well. So I would love to see you there, where I give moon updates and inspiration to live a more soul-aligned life. Have a great weekend.
Awesome. Sherry, do you want to go first just before you jump? And then Laura, do you mind? That's okay if I have her butt in? Go ahead, Sherry. Unexpected.
Yeah, I had already clicked on getting ready to leave the meeting and unclick it. I just wanted to say thank you, Dr. Ginsburg. It was a great presentation, and I especially like the way you phrased the idea of investing in lifestyle changes to manage stress. I mean, you're telling us stuff we all already know, eat right, drink water, sleep well, we need the reminders. So appreciate that. And my shout out was for Pam Knox. She's running, I don't even remember what the name of it is. She can tell you when it's her turn. PQ program. And I'm playing along, and it's fun and interesting, and just another way to stay mindful throughout the day. So that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry. Thanks, Laura T. And then Debbie.
Pam, that was phenomenal. And I love the simple twist of taking it from a threat versus to a challenge, and just making that mind shift. So that was the nugget that I walked away with. I'm like, oh, this is good stuff. So thank you so much. I'm so glad you were able to be here today. As the chapter leader for the Wednesday Virtual Networkers, ladies, we've had some really great connections. Our chapter is growing. So if you know someone who can't fit into the Friday morning chapter and wants to try out the Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, that's a great fit. And you just send them to the virtualnetworkers.biz. So, and we are we're pretty full up with speakers through till the beginning of May. But if you know someone who wants to get on our speaker calendar, please shoot me an email. I wanted to just put it out there. A lot of people are lost in their business, mainly because they don't know what to lead with, because we're all such creative souls, right? So if you're struggling with, okay, what do I want to lead with? How do I pare things down so that I can make the right connections? I can help with that. I offer a 1-hour strategy session that helps you really kind of define the avenue that you want to kind of go down with your business. So if you're looking for some strategy work, I'm offering that. I have 2 sessions still available for this quarter, and I'll put the information in the chat box.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura. Debbie, then Pam Knox.
Dr. Ginsburg, that was absolutely incredible. I'm so glad that there are ways to get rid of cortisol, because as we age, our menopausal, post-menopause, the cortisol tends to rise as well. So I'm going to invest in some tear therapy. So thank you for that. I'm going to do for Hannah on her behalf, because she's not here today. She saved the date for March 16th at 11 a.m. For an hour. She's going to be doing one of her very Hannah-esque presentations, a masterclass on graphic design. So save the date for her. And thanks for everything. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Debbie. Pam Knox.
Hi there, Dr. Ginsburg, great to see you again. It's been a really long time since our days in Doylestown Women's Business Forum way back. And imagine that you see you virtually and you're like around the corner, but such is the world of the pandemic, we'll say. But thanks for increasing my awareness today, because these tips, so often we get so caught up in our stress that we can't even find the pause to think about these things, and going away with some real tools. And I want to say that I'd like to connect and share some stories. Being the storyteller, I love sharing stories and would love to do it over a virtual tea with you ladies. And I know I'm a little bit behind on some of that. I too had been elevated stress last couple of weeks in a heightened caregiving mode for my dad. But we're moving forward, and grateful he's doing better. And as Sherry said, I have a couple of virtual networkers that have signed on to my positive intelligence program that helps create the mental fitness that we need to sustain the mindset necessary to run our businesses and be in relationships with others. It's more than insight. It's like the app-based, it's not like reading the book. It's got an app to drive you forward with it. So if you're interested, we can talk about that over one of my teas. And Darlene, I'm going to find you on Instagram. Thanks for the reminder to connect with everybody here on Instagram. I've put my contact in the chat. Awesome. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Before we leave, ladies, I want to just go on a soapbox, if you have to give me 2 minutes. In December, the Wall Street Journal published a commentary encouraging Dr. Jill Biden to drop the doctor from her title, saying that it sounded fraudulent and comical because she earned an EDD from the University of Delaware. And he said, a wise man once said that no one can call himself a doctor unless he delivered a child. Think about it, Dr. Jill, and forthwith drop the doc. I'm here to tell you, loud women, I want you to use your advanced degrees. The past 2 weeks, we've had 2 doctorates come through as speakers. Last week was a doctorate in economics. We have Dr. Ginsburg here today. But if you have a degree, whether it's a bachelor's, master's, JD, EDD, PhD, ministry degree, your credentials, I want to see that on your LinkedIn. I want to see that on your email signature. I want to see that on your books. because ladies, those degrees are hard. They are hard ass work. And I don't care how many you have. The guy who said that, put your degrees out there. I love you. Have a good weekend.